friends, Amanda here from Fun Hands-On Learning. In today's video, I figured I would come on here and talk a little bit to those of you who need a little bit of help as you begin to homeschool your children. Now, a couple days ago, I was sitting with some friends and I was talking with a girl who is thinking about homeschooling her children, and the first words out of her mouth were, how do I know what to teach them? So she has some young children who are just getting to be about school age, and so she's thinking about next year if she may homeschool them, but she feels a little lost. So if that is you, you are at the right channel, because I'm going to go through a little list of a few different items that I think would be good sources for you to know what to teach your children. Okay, so the first thing that you might want to look into, so number one is your state standards. So if you are living in the United States, every state has their own state standards. In fact, years ago when I was a classroom teacher, I was teaching in the state of Indiana, and I had the privilege of going down to our Department of Education in Indianapolis, and I met with other teachers, and we actually wrote curriculum maps for our state. So, which is really cool. It was fun. This was like, I'm talking over to 12 years ago. This was back in 2009 or 2010. So I'm dating myself, okay? But it was a lot of fun, and I was one of only two other teachers that did the curriculum maps for the first graders for all of the states. So that was really, really fun. I was on the language arts committee, so I didn't do the math, but I did the language arts. And anyways, it was fun and it was challenging. But I think that those curriculum maps really gave teachers and parents a roadmap. And basically what we did is we took our state standards. And state standards, by the way, for those of you, if I'm talking over your head, basically it's just the skills that the children need to know, or at least the skills that the state thinks that the children need to know before they, move on. Now, please remember that every child is different, and so we do not teach to a curriculum. We do not teach to a standard. Oh, we kind of teach to a standard. We want them to meet that standard, but we teach to the child. So you meet them where they are, and then you try to get them to meet those goals or those standards, but you are meeting them where they are, okay? And you are using the resources that you have. So if your student cannot meet the first grade standards, but they can meet kindergarten standards, then that's where you start. Or if they cannot meet kindergarten standards, then start at the preschool standards. Start where your child is and work from there, and do not freak out about, well, they're behind, but they're behind. Do not do that. Please do not do that. Please just meet them where they're at, and I promise you, if you work where they're at and then you slowly increment from there, they will make progress. When you spend time with children, they do get it. They do start to make progress, okay? So they just need the time, and they need the encouragement, okay? So keep that in mind as I'm talking about all of this, all right? So do not get flustered. If, oh my goodness, my child is so behind, you look at these standards or you look at these goals and you say, oh, they don't know how to do this. It's okay. It's all right. Take a deep breath and know, and me as a Christian, I know that God is with me in this, and He will prepare me and prep me for how to teach my child, okay? So that's number one. All right, now going back to the state standards. So basically all you need to do is go in Google and type in your state. So I'm in Indiana, so I would type in Indiana State Education Standards, or Indiana Standards for Preschool, Indiana Standards for Kindergarten. Actually, the standards for states don't usually start in preschool. They start in kindergarten. So you would want to do Indiana State Standards for Kindergarten, or whatever grade you're working on for second grade. And they'll pop up, okay? You can go to it and you can download any of them, and they're right there for you, okay? Now, take them with a grain of salt, because I do not necessarily follow them to a T because I may not agree with all of the state standards, okay? So I may want to, because they don't have Bible standards, and I'm a Christian mom, so I'm going to teach Bible to my children, and so I'm going to teach them doctrine and things like that. Those are things that I am going to look at and take into consideration. And for you and your family, you might want to take into consideration what your children need beyond that. But it is a great guide. Your state standards are a great guide. And some states do require homeschool children to meet some of those standards. They may have to take tests and things. Thankfully, my state does not, but it is great to look over those standards and just kind of gauge what they're doing in the public school and go from there. And you may want to raise the bar because your children, can go beyond these standards, and you can raise the bar. Because as homeschool parents, we have that ability, and that's wonderful, isn't it? That we can tailor the curriculum, tailor the lessons to our individual children, and we don't have to follow some state program. So there you go. So the first thing is check out your state standards. All right, secondly, I would say if you purchase a full curriculum, then just use your curriculum as your guide. So for example, on my website, those of you who follow me for a long time know that I sell my own curriculum. I write curriculum, and then you can go on there and you can purchase it. If you purchase my full curriculum, let's say you purchase my Phonics for reading curriculum, okay? It is a full Phonics curriculum. It brings you through phonetic learning in incremental steps, and it should bring you through till your children are reading proficiently. Okay, so if you purchase that curriculum, if you just use that curriculum, it will bring your children through, and you really won't have to look for other reading standards. You can just follow that curriculum. Same thing goes if you buy a boxed curriculum from a company, not me, but somewhere else. Follow that curriculum, and a lot of times it'll have listed out the different units, and so you kind of know, okay, these are the skills my child needs to finish by the end of this grade, like if you buy a first grade curriculum. For another example, there's another curriculum that I sell, my Early Learners Math curriculum. That curriculum was based on kindergarten standards, okay? Now you can use it with preschool children, you can use it with first grade children, you can use it with second grade children, just depending on what their grade level is. But the standards are based on kindergarten, okay? So if you have a kindergartner and you purchase that full curriculum, my Early Learners Math curriculum, all of the math standards they need to know for kindergarten are in that curriculum. So you don't have to worry about, are they learning what they're supposed to learn? If you do that curriculum, they're going to learn what they're supposed to learn for math in kindergarten. I hope that makes kind of sense. So if you go to a box curriculum, say from a Becca or The Good and the Beautiful, or wherever you get your curriculum, if you follow that curriculum, it will kind of bring you through what your students need to know. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So follow your curriculum, and that's another way. All right, then a third way is I really like the website IXL.com. IXL.com. And I like this website because you can go on there, you can pick whatever grade you're working on. So I have first graders this year, so I might click on first grade, and it is going to come up with math, English, science, social studies I think is on there, standards, and you can click on, well, it'll come up with skills. They call them skills on there. And you can click on them, and it'll just give you an entire list of skills for that grade. You can also click, and there's some like games and some ways to kind of introduce those skills. And I think it's kind of cool. And I have in the past printed out like just a picture of, like if I clicked on first grade, I printed out. I clicked on first grade, and then I clicked on, say, math, and I printed out the list that it gave me, and it just kind of lists out the first grade math skills that first graders should know, and that's just a cool list to kind of go off of, okay? So that's the third one. And the last one is that I have actually created some checkoff lists for preschool, kindergarten, and first grade that you can download from my website. And I'm going to show you on my computer really quick what those look like. But basically I took kind of all of these sources and I made my own lists. That way I could just check off or kind of write little notes about my students and kind of go back and forth like, okay, this child needs to work on this skill, this child needs to work on this skill. But then that way I had lists of my own. And I left some blank spots to kind of write in other skills if during the year I noticed that my child needs to work on this, or my child needs to work on that, or, oh, here's a skill I wasn't thinking of, but this is something that I really want to incorporate into our daily routine. I could write that in. So if you are looking for just simple lists, check off lists, I will leave links below in the description box to those as well. Okay, so we are at my desk and I'm going to just quickly show you these skill lists. We have preschool and kindergarten skill lists. And these are just great because it just makes an easy way for you to check off and you can kind of just see all of the different skills that you want to maybe go through with your preschoolers or your kindergartners in an easy to read kind of check off format. So here we have our math skill list and we have just all the different preschool math skills, and then you know it'll have literacy, language skill list, and then there's just blanks for you to write more skills in that you might want to work on. There's a concept skill list that you will get. There's new versions, older versions of these things. This is like the older version here. You'll get the entire, like all of the lists that I've made if you purchase this download, okay? You can get them at funhandsonlearning.com, or you can get the same thing at my Teachers Pay Teachers store, and I'll show you that here. So this is what it would look like if you went to Teachers Pay Teachers, and then if you went to my website, it looks like this, but it's the exact same thing, okay? So links will be below for those, and then the first grade skill lists look like this, and you get 3 different pages for math and then 3 different pages for English language arts. And they're kind of broken up by skill level. So, and you can't, let's see, you can't really see here, but like it has counting and number patterns. And then these are all the things for counting and number patterns. Addition, these are all the things you'd want to work on with addition and so on. Okay. So you'd get like 3 of those, and then you'd get 3 for English language arts. And those are broken up by short vowels, long vowels, syllables, consonants and letter sounds, you know, all the different skills. So these are just great to have checkoff lists if that's kind of what you're looking for. So yeah, just another option, another way. And right now I only have preschool and kindergarten are together. And then the first grade lists are separate. I don't have any other grades beyond that. I may eventually make second grade lists, but it's not on my radar to do at the moment because I'm working on so many other things. But that's what I have so far. And then you can, of course, get those first grade lists on Teachers Pay Teachers as well. They look like this if you go there. So again, links will be below for these. So how do I know what to teach my child? Those were my 4 tips. And I hope that they are helpful for you if you are a new homeschool parent, or even if you're not a new homeschool parent, but you're just looking for new ideas, maybe this was helpful. Lastly, please remember to like and comment on my videos. I'm really trying to reach more people with these videos. I know I have a lot of subscribers, so I know you can do it. You can like these videos and we can get more content out. I also would love it if you would leave me comments in the comment section. I like to interact with you, so leave me any comments that you have. If you have ideas for more videos, if you're a new homeschool parent and you just want as much knowledge as you can get and you have ideas for videos for me, leave that in the description box as well. I'm hoping here in the month of February to bring you a little bit new content, some different video ideas that I have rolling inside this brain of mine. So, but I'm always looking for ideas. So if you have something you're interested in, leave that below. All right, we will see you in the next video. And as always, happy learning. Bye.